In the quarter of a century that Sonic has been kicking around, he's crossed paths with many challenging foes in his games. Some have been more memorable than others, some more difficult than others, but the majority, even in the underdeveloped games, have at least been entertaining. So today we're taking a closer look at some of those battles the Blue Blur has faced with our list of the top 10 Sonic boss fights. Yeah, we did an eerily similar list to this already with our top 10 Sonic bosses, parts 1 and 2, but the powers that be requested more boss fights, so here we go! And at number 10, Non-Aggression, Sonic Advance 3. Eggman and Sonic teaming up? Who would have thunk? This Extra Zone epic battle against Non-Aggression brings the Blue Blur and his nemesis together in an epic duel. As Super Sonic, you work with Eggman to bring down the robotic chaos that is Non-Aggression, with you using Eggman and his pod as a weapon, which is pretty great in its own right. And at number 9, Solaris from Sonic 06. While Sonic 06 was generally a flop, it did have a few moments of merit, including this battle with Solaris. When Mephiles and Ibis combine into Solaris, Sonic and the gang have one hell of an enemy on their hands. You play as Sonic, Shadow, and Silver to take down the villain in a two-part battle that not only takes skill, but some guts. It's one of the scarier Sonic boss battles out there. And at number 8, BioLizard from Sonic Adventure 2. Speaking of Shadow, let's take a look at the battle in Sonic Adventure 2 between the Dark Hedgehog and his prototype, BioLizard, or rather the prototype of Ultimate Life. The goal is to run from the BioLizard and its all-consuming mouth, plus its projectiles that it tosses at you, collecting as many rings as possible until it stops, and you grind up on the rail along its back to cause it damage. BioLizard makes our list for not only being a unique boss battle, but also one that highlights one of Shadow's more awesome moments in one of his earliest appearances. And at number 7, Heavy Magician from Sonic Mania. Much like the rest of Sonic Mania, the Heavy Magician is a blast from the past. This magical robot transforms into Sonic characters from the past, some of which had been completely forgotten, to make for one of the more compelling battles in the game. Heavy Magician also keeps you on your toes, not because of speed, but because of each of their transformations' varying abilities, meaning you have to switch up your tactics depending on who she becomes. And at 6, Team Sonic vs Team Dark from Sonic Heroes. One of the coolest things about 2003's Sonic Heroes was that you could play as both Team Sonic and Team Dark, each team providing a different gameplay experience. That made the confrontation battle between the two teams even more enjoyable. The 3-on-3 made for an epic duel, especially being contained to a small island for the entirety of the battle. And at number 5, Perfect Dark Gaia from Sonic Unleashed. Every time we talk about Perfect Dark Gaia, we can't help but mention how utterly terrifying it is. While Sonic Unleashed is by no means a fantastic game compared to others in the franchise, Perfect Dark Gaia is the kind of boss battle that leaves you with a sense of satisfaction, primarily because it begins with one of the most frightening and intimidating introduction cutscenes in Sonic history. And at number 4, Metal Sonic from Sonic Mania. You could easily argue that any face-off against Metal Sonic in the Sonic games is super fulfilling, and deserves a spot on this list. To be fair, the character exists purely to defeat Sonic. It's an obsession of the characters to be the best version of Sonic, and Metal Sonic's character is one of the only individuals who can actually match our hero's speeds. The Sonic Mania version is not only an homage to the Metal Sonic boss fights of the past, it's one of the best, and really reminds players what Sonic games are all about: the adrenaline rush and the speed. And at number 3, Big Arms from Sonic 3. In 1994's Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Big Arms was the boss you encountered during Act 2 of the launch base zone. The battle starts off fairly straightforward. Robotnik is in a simpler robot that after a few hits is destroyed, but then the sky turns dark and he busts out this concoction of massive robotic arms protecting a pod lined with spikes, and you're like, whoa, how do I knock this guy out? Much of this battle is knowing when to dodge, especially when it comes to landing on those spikes or getting caught in those big arms, or rather those big hands that are attached to the big arms. Avoid being caught by them. And at number 2, Death Egg from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The final battle that takes place in the Death Egg zone is pretty intense. First off, you're up against Silver Sonic, the evil robotic Sonic that preceded Metal Sonic, and had a much more obedient personality. After he's out of the way, you have to chase Robotnik for a bit, who then jumps into a terrifying robotic Eggman suit that will not only jump down and crush you, but also has detachable flying fists with deadly spikes on them. Of course, he uses those for a long-range attack. Eventually, after you strike the robot enough, it'll break apart into bits, causing an explosion that you then have to run away from. And finally, at number 1, the Doomsday Zone Eggman from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This isn't the first time that we've mentioned the Doomsday Zone Eggman boss on this channel, and it probably won't be the last. This boss from Sonic 3 and Knuckles is one of the most intricate and well-structured boss battles in the franchise. It's split into 3 parts, the first being against the massive egg robot whose fingers you have to smash in order to progress. The second half has you running away from the massive robot while simultaneously attacking it. The platform beneath you is also being destroyed, so you must combine speed and quick attacks in order to outrun and defeat it. After that robot blows up, Eggman still tries to flee with the Master Emerald, and you must chase him while attacking his fleeing pod. This then opens up another final level where, as Super Sonic, you fly through the sky, avoiding asteroids and collecting rings, all to catch up to a giant Robotnik rocket that shoots missiles at you. Then Robotnik shifts to another robot, holding the Master Emerald, that you must bash before you can rescue the gem yourself. All in all, this immense battle not only highlights the versatility and ingenuity of Sonic's greatest foe, but the Blue Blur's heroism and adaptability in taking on whatever antagonist is thrown his way. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these was your favorite? Which boss fights would you want to see us talk about? Give us a shout in those comments below. In the meantime, if you dug our video, please do us a favor and hit those like and subscribe buttons. And check out the other videos on our channel, like the ones in the playlist flashing on your screen right now. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Top 10 Gaming. Catch you all in the next one.